Good morning, happy Tuesday. Drinking my coffee. Hope everybody had their good morning. Feeling good today. Today is a 60-minute class, which I'm super excited about to kind of get the full experience here. If anybody is new, I'm gonna put my coffee down. We're using a ball here, a 9-inch ball with just a little bit of give. You can use a towel, you can use like a t-shirt, you can use a pillow, kind of anything that you want. And yes, everybody is welcome. I just saw, can I join? Everybody can join. This is for everybody, just to get us all moving together, feeling good. I know it's been a while now since we've been in quarantine, so I feel like it's really especially great to open up, feel good, work through some of the stuff that's hanging on in our bodies. Let's see, anything else? I don't know. I think we should just kind of get started, get moving. It's gonna be a little bit of everything today. I'm like weirdly kind of cold, even though it's really nice and warm outside here for some reason. So I think we should get started. So, okay, we're gonna start on the mat. I want you to take the ball between your knees. So we're gonna give it a little squeeze here. Plant your feet so they're directly underneath your hips, and we're gonna lift up through the pelvic floor. Start to reach your hands up to the ceiling, and you're just gonna drop your arms down to your side and then reach them up again. So we're doing like a little circle, but a very controlled circle here. So you're keeping the core in, you're going up, circle around. Let's do one more. So you're really actively starting to move your arms in space. You're gonna bend your knees, pulling your hands forward, shifting your weight over to your heels, and then start to lift up in the chest. So actively moving here, pressing through your heels, lifting all the way up, opening up the chest. So we're going to start to build some heat inside of your body, build a little bit of circulation in your blood, really start to connect your muscles together, pulling the abdominals in. If you don't have a prop, don't worry about it. You can use a pillow, or you can try it with no prop also, but really focus on activating the inner thighs here and pelvic floor. 2 more. And lift. And then 1 more. You're going to hold this position. Start to just take your arms back behind you and reach your hands in front. So you're keeping yourself kind of at a little bit of a forward hinge. Your weight is over your heels. Your abdominals stay in. You're warming up the shoulders here. And then one thing, we're going to check in with your breath here to make sure you're expanding your ribs out to the side. Trying to breathe a little bit more expansively and not so much through your abdominals. Press it back, start to pulse your arms up, so very tiny pulses up to the ceiling. Starting to activate triceps. Shift your weight back over to your heels to make sure that you're still connecting into the glutes, connecting into the inner thighs. I want you to focus on the length of your neck as well. I'm already warm, which is great. Keep pulsing up through here. Pulling the core in. Let's do a couple more pulses here. Hold your arms up, start to bend your elbows and then press it back. So you're bending it back. So you're moving as if you're in a denser space than air. We're really pressing it back, trying to add a little bit of resistance. Keeping the core in here. Press it back. Nice little pulses, trying to activate those triceps. But really connecting the full body here. So every little piece of your body is doing something. Let's do 2 more. 1 more. You're going to press your arms back. Just start to reach them out in front of you, and we're going to do a little swimming here. So you're going to open up the shoulders, reach your hands forward. So we're opening it up. And then try to do a full breath through this motion. So you're inhaling and exhaling as you circle around. You're trying not to arch the spine, so you're trying to keep your spine as flat as possible. Really reaching it around. Let's do 2 more. Still connecting in the core. 1 more. Reaching your hands out. Let's lift yourself all the way up, lifting through the abdominals, bending your knees, pulling your weight over your heels. Lift it up again, shifting your weight backwards. Lifting up. And then we're going to hold here. You're going to reverse the swimming. So you're bending your elbows, reaching your hands back, circle it around. So we're now kind of stretching it out and around. You want to feel your fingertips kind of pulling away from your shoulders. So you can also get a little bit of a nerve stretch as you kind of circle them around. Keeping the core in. 2 more. All the way out. 1 more. And then out. You're going to start to lift up again. So lifting up through the abdominals, shifting your weight back over your heels. Lift it up again and back. So really activating every muscle in your leg as well as you move. Your weight is in your heels, but you're evenly pressing on the inside of your foot, same on the outside. Hold it through here. You're going to take your arms back, turn your palms facing inwards, and now do tiny pulses up. So tiny pulses up here, your fingertips are facing inwards towards each other, squeezing the inner thighs, connecting the pelvic floor. Tiny pulses. And then holding it up, start to bend your elbows, pressing it back. So now your hands are facing inwards, relaxing your neck as much as possible, connecting into the core, shifting your weight back onto your heels. Keep breathing through here. And let's do 3 more. And 2 more. And 1 more. Press it all the way back. We're going to lift yourself all the way up. 1 big circle here, and then you're going to take your feet out wide. So your toes are going to rotate out to the side, heels are inwards. We're going to start by lifting up through the pelvic floor, and you're going to take the ball between your hands. You're going to bend your knees here. So the ball is kind of right directly in front of your face. Keeping your knees rotated outwards, you're going to open up your elbows and then start to squeeze your elbows inwards. So you're opening it up and squeeze. So you're keeping the core in. You're actively squeezing, but still trying to keep your chest nice and open. So your hips are staying nice and open. You're using the ball as like a little bit of resistance to squeeze your elbows in. And let's do 3 more. And 2 more, keeping the abs in. My face is behind the ball, but you kind of get the picture of what's happening here. You're going to squeeze and hold here. You're going to start to rotate to the right. Use your abdominals to come back to center. Rotate over to the left. And back to center. So the rotation comes from the belly button up. You're really trying to rotate your knees outward so that you're trying not to grip into the quads. We're getting a little bit more into the glutes and the inner thighs. Tiny twist. Still putting your weight onto your heels. And twist. 1 more each side. And twist. And then you're going to press it all the way up, lifting up out of the abdominals. Start to bend your knees, dropping your arms down through here. Pressing it up so you're like squeezing through here, lifting up through the abdominals, dropping it down. 2 more. Lift all the way up. Drop it down. 1 more. Really getting those inner thighs. Drop it down, then you're going to take the ball over to your right leg and extend your left arm all the way out. You're going to go up and over. You're going to roll it over to the side. Use your abdominals to come back to center here. So you're going up and over. You're rolling the ball out, stretching out of that left side. Abdominals come back. So you're going up and over, stretching through. Legs on fire. Abdominals engaged, really stretching it out. And back. Let's do 1 more. Rolling it out. And then let's lift all the way up. Take the ball up over your head. We're going to bend your knees down. Find the same position here, stretching out through that left arm, stretching out through the right arm. You're going to go up and over, bending over to the side, stretching it out, and back to center. Let's go up and over. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Keeping the abdominals in. Let's do 2 more here. And exhale. And 1 more. Up and over. And exhale. Let's lift your arms all the way up. Slowly start to walk your feet in. Let's go down onto your knees and then take the ball between your ankles. So let's flatten your feet. The ball's between your ankles here. You're giving it a little squeeze, and you're going to take your hands underneath your shoulders. Roll your shoulders back and then rotate your elbows forward so you're keeping your abdominals in. You're going to start to bend your elbows. Your chest is going to go down to the ground. Start to press it in and up here. So you're controlling this movement from your core. And kind of if you're new to my method also, every exercise starts from the core. So you're feeling that activation first. Your core is driving the movement, and yes, your triceps will be feeling it. Your glutes will be feeling it, all these other things, but it really is, the core is kind of the main, activation muscle that kind of connects first. And let's do 2 more. And up. And 1 more. And up. Good. And then you're going to sit back kind of like over your ball, keeping your back flat through here. Start to hover your arms up. And then you're going to reach your arms down and then just tap. So keeping the core in here. Hovering your arms up. Reaching it forward and tap. So it's like you're kind of trying to find this position here where your core really has to hang on. You're not relying too much on your legs, but your abdominals stay in. And it forces you to kind of have a little bit more of a forward hinge, less of kind of a squat back. Lifting up through here. It's very challenging if you really test your boundaries here. Hold back here. Now you're going to pull the abdominals in, start to pulse your arms up, keeping the core in. Lengthen out of your neck. Really, really tightly pulling in and up. So you're trying to keep a flat back here. We're trying not to arch, trying not to tuck. And let's do 2 more. And then start to reach your hands forward again. You're just going to lightly tap, taking it back. Let's go tap. Anybody else finding this extremely challenging? All the way up and back. Taking your hands back underneath your shoulders, shifting your weight forward. Let's turn your fingers facing inwards to make a triangle shape here. Shoulders are back and your elbows are kind of rotated on the same diagonal as your fingertips. Start to bend your elbows wide, chest goes down. Start to push it up through here. So you're pulling the core in. You're shifting your weight over to your arms, but your abdominals are controlling the move. You're still making sure to check in with the balls so that your inner thighs are still engaged. Inner thighs connect to the pelvic floor, connect to the low abdominals, which connect to everything else, so it's full body here. 3 more. And up. 2 more. And up. 1 more. And then all the way up. And then you're going to reach your hands forward, sit back into a child's pose, stretching out through your arms. You're going to start to tuck your toes underneath, still squeezing the ball between the ankles. Let's press it all the way out into a full plank. When you're in the plank, give the inner thighs a squeeze, rotate the elbows forward. Start to bend your knees and then press through the arms. So you're stretching through the chest. Open up your abdominals, lengthen out through the top of your head. So you're bending back here, squeezing the inner thighs, opening up the chest. Elbows stay forward. Really connecting into the core. Make this a very active movement, so you're constantly kind of flowing through the move. And there's no end point, and there's energy going out of your legs and out of the top of your head. And it becomes kind of a very nice, fluid, deep connection in your body. Very slow, very controlled, very effective. Very circulating of the blood. All the way out. Let's do 2 more. All the way out. Try to keep your neck in line with your spine here also. 1 more. All the way out. You're going to bend your knees down, uncurl your toes, sit back over your heels, and then we're going to start to roll the abdominals up. So you're going to go all the way up to standing here. Lifting up through the core, start to reach your hands forward and take your arms backwards. So now we're lifting up. You're going to test your balance here to make sure that you're kind of at that point where you're like, I'm almost going to fall forward, but my abdominals are hanging on so tightly that I'm lifting in and up. My arms are moving through space, all the way up and back. Really nicely moving here. And let's do 2 more. And then back, and then 1 more. And then back. You're going to take your hands to your side. I want you to take them out into a T. Turn your palms facing upwards. We're going to lift your arms all the way up, lifting through the core, dropping the hands down to the floor as you go back out into a T. So you're going up through here, drop it down, lift, and then drop. So I want you to feel that resistance in space. So you're really pressing up, pushing it down here, keeping the inner thighs engaged, Check in with that pelvic floor, make sure you're still lifted in and up. If you're not feeling it there yet, no worries. We're practicing on getting that connected also. And then one more. Lift it up, drop it down, and then reach your hands back underneath your shoulders here. So now we're on all fours. You're shifting your weight slightly under, a little bit over your wrists here. Tuck your toes underneath. We're going to start to hover your knees up and hold, and then drop it down. So your knees are going to hover up and hold, really pulling in the core to hover your knees up. Drop it down. Let's do 3 more. Check in with your elbows. Make sure the insides of your elbows are rotated forward. 2 more here. Lift it up. Drop it down. And still breathing here. Make sure to check in with your breath. Make sure you're doing very wide breathing in your rib cage. And then we're going to hover up and hold. We're going to go into a pike. You're going to squeeze the inner thighs as you go up into a pike. You're going to start to bend your knees, and then you're going to end up in this hovered all 4 position here. Squeezing the inner thighs, pressing your legs all the way up, zipping up all the way through the core. And then let's hover down here and hold. And let's go all the way up, pulling the abdominals in, rolling through. Shoulders are back, abdominals are in. 2 more. Really feeling the inner thighs, abdominals here. 1 more, zipping it up and dropping it all the way down. Hover for a second and hold, then drop to your knees, uncurl your toes. Let's sit back into a child's pose for a second. And then we're going to roll through the spine. We're going to go back on top of our knees. You're going to reach your hands out to the side. I hope everybody's feeling great, feeling very energetic and lifted. Lift up through here. Take your right arm up and over. You're going to stretch over to the left. Use your abdominals to come back to center. So you're going up and over, but you're grounding that opposite knee. So when we go over to the left, your right knee is pressing down to the floor. You're stretching out, pulling up through the core, lifting back up. Let's go over to the right. Check in with that pelvic floor again. Lift it up through here, shifting your weight forward. Try not to keep shifting your weight backwards. If you start to feel in your quads, you might be shifting your weight a little too far back over your heels. And then reaching your hands forward and back. Let's do 2 more. And back. And 1 more. And back. And we're going to round forward, reaching your hands out, lifting up in the chest. Let's circle it all the way around. Rounding forward as your weight pulls over the ball. Lifting up. Remember, your core starts this whole movement. Rounding forward. Lifting it up and around. 1 more. Rounding forward. Lifting it up. Let's circle all the way around. We're going to take the ball between your ankles. And we're going to take your feet to the front of the mat. Let's take your feet together. Knees slightly apart, so we're building a diamond shape with our legs. The ball is going to go underneath your low back here. So this is going to be your safety position here. When you feel like your lower back ends up starting to work or any sort of break you need to have, you're going to hold here. I want you to reach your hands out through here. We're going to start to lift up off the ball and then lower down onto the ball. So you're guiding yourself with your core here. I'm going to talk you through the movement and then we're going to work on some form here as we're doing this. I want you to try to turn off the quads, turn off the hip flexors. Think of leading kind of like through this lifted chest. So your lower half is doing like a very tiny scoop, but your upper part of your body is trying to stay nice and straight. Let's lift and lower. And then check in with your feet here. Try to feel like your heels are pulling into your glutes, so you're activating behind your legs. Lift. It's very intense, very deep, deep abdominal connection here. A lot of like very core stabilizing moves. And let's do 1 more. And then we're going to hold here. So you're going to go like, this is like my up, this is my down. I'm going to hover about halfway. I'm going to start to take my arms out to the side slightly and then push them through the center. So I'm opening out into a V, pushing them through the center. If you notice, I'm not going all the way out into a T. When I go all the way out into a T, what happens is my upper body form starts to compromise. I want to make sure I'm still holding on to my core here, feeling protected there. Remember, if you ever need a break here, you can hang on here. Okay, take a mini break here. Open up, pushing it in. Let's do 3 more. Whew. 2 more. And then connecting your heels so your inner thighs are still together. We're going to take your arms out through here. You're going to start to do mini circles of the arms, keeping the core in. Tiny, tiny circles. How are we feeling? Are we feeling warm? Feeling connected? Allow this moment to kind of work through some of that work we did in your shoulders. So this can kind of like massage your joints a little bit. We're going to reverse the circle. Tiny little circles through here. Keeping the core in. So even though our arms don't have any weights, you're still feeling like they are kind of doing some of this resistance work as if you had a weight there and you're like, oh, I'm connecting my bicep, my tricep, my lats, my deltoids, everything is kind of connecting here along with your core. Back to center, let's lower it down 1 inch, lift it up 1 inch, lower it down and lift. Keep pulling in the core here. Woo, very deep abdominal work. Stay connected in here. Let's do 3 more. Check in with those quads. Try to turn them off as much as possible. Try not to grip in your toes. Try not to grip in your fingers or your jaw. And then let's hold this halfway point. We're going to take your left elbow in. We're going to rotate over to the left. You're going to twist and look over towards your left shoulder. Come back to center. Twist over to the right, looking over towards your right shoulder. Back to center. Go rotate, rotate, rotate. Add nice mobility in your spine. This is the first time we're really doing like a major twist in this position. So really focus on the belly button up, rotating up and over to the left. Your lower half is working to stabilize and stay square. Burner. All the way up. Twist. And then back 1 more each side. Twist, twist, twist. And last one. And then back to center. Last little piece here, lower it down, lift it up. Try to really connect deeply into these low abdominals. It is a very challenging place to start connecting to, but we get there in this method. Try to get there and pull in and up. Keep the abdominals in, keep breathing. Let's do 2 more and 1 more. And then take your arms back behind you. Whew. You can stretch yourself out for a second. You can be like, wow, that was a lot of abdominal work. Hands are going to be by your side here. We're going to lift up. So this is all the way lifted up off my shoulders. You're going to kind of put a little bit of weight into the ball and your elbows are going to bend, but you're not pressing down into the ball. So you're staying lifted up with your abdominals. Your knees stay wide here. We're going to start to hover your right leg up and then drop it down. You're going to hover your left leg up and then drop it down. If this feels too tight to have your hands directly underneath your shoulders here, you can take a wider stance and give yourself a little bit more of a base also. It's not necessarily any less abdominals or less arm work. It just depends on how open your shoulders are feeling today. So kind of find your arm position here. Sometimes if you just feel extra tight and curled forward, it helps to kind of give yourself a little bit more space. Let's hover, drop it down. Hover it up and drop it down. Let's go to the right and to the left. And then you're going to hover your right leg up through here. I want you to extend that leg out straight, bend the knee in. So we're stretching through. That hip is still externally rotated. You're extending it out, drawing it in. Try not to focus too much on what the toes are doing. I want you to think energy is reaching out of your leg and back. Let's do 1 more. We're going to start to add an arm. So you're going to take your left arm out. You're going to stretching through that arm, bring it back. So you're still keeping that position of your upper body. If this feels too challenging, you can always drop your arm back down. You can take a break anytime you need to. If you need to stretch out your hip flexors, take a butterfly stretch. 1 more. Drop it down. Find your position through here again. You can lift up, You can drop it down. Find that center position where you're staying lifted. We're gonna hover your left leg up, drop it down, take your right leg up, drop it down, and then hover your left leg up here and hold. We're gonna start to extend that leg, draw the knee in. So through these moves where it feels like, you know, my leg is trying to pull in, we're trying to train your abdominals to kind of control your leg as well. So in this position, you're thinking abdominals are like pulling my knee in. My glutes are also activating there because my heel is pulling into my glute, almost like a hamstring curl, you know, lower smile under your glute type of area. 2 more. 1 more. Holding this position, start to reach your right arm out. You're going to extend your left leg out, take your right arm up, draw it in. Stretching it out, drawing it in. It's pretty intense here. Keeping the core in. Check in with this supporting shoulder. Make sure you're not like grounding it too much here. You're trying to stay more lifted up off your shoulder with your core. 2 more. And 1 more. Drop it down. Find your center here. Pull the abdominals in. Bend your elbows and roll your shoulders back. We're going to go 1 leg and 1 leg up. You're going to try to hold here. Just keep connected. Keep connected. Start to squeeze the knees. Open the knees out. You can drop your feet down a little bit lower. We're just doing a few of these last little bits. 2 more. You can also do these with your feet on the ground if this is too much, if you're pregnant, if you're having like too much hip flexor pain, you can drop your feet and then go here. Lifting it in and up. Let's take a butterfly stretch here. Taking the ball in front of your head, rolling it all the way out, dropping it down. Stretching out of your spine. And then let's lift up. We're going to keep your feet in parallel. Let's articulate through the spine here, squeezing the ball, reaching your hands all the way out. We're going to scoop and roll all the way down, peeling through your spine, taking your hands up over your head. And then pull the chin and let's slowly go back up. So just a reminder in this move, if you're heavily pregnant or feeling like this feels uncomfortable, skip these. You can just practice rolling down halfway. If you have diastasis that you're trying to repair, try not to do too many of these types of curls so that the coning starts to happen. Just go about halfway, really connecting into the core. Let's go all the way down. And then lift it right back up. And let's do 2 more. Scoop and roll. So if you are doing the full roll down, try to find your spine aligning straight through the center of your body. Trying to find kind of your center line and trying to nail it as you go all the way down. So you're going all the way down, reaching your hands up. And lifting it all the way up through here. And then we're going to roll all the way down. You're going to take your arms out into a T. So let's press your hands down to the floor. Start to draw your knees into tabletop here. I want you to squeeze your feet together. So in this position, we're externally rotating in the hips, trying to get a little bit of that glute side leg in there. Ground your tailbone down so you're in neutral, but you're not arching the spine. You're going to dip your legs down slightly. Start to pull your knees into your chest. So it's very, very tiny dips here. And lift. And one thing to think about here is what's happening in your spine. So your spine will tell you how far down you can go, keeping that core strength, keeping your spine in neutral. It's very tiny. Does not have to be a big movement to feel this here. And now we're going to add some arms. So the legs are going to have to slow down. As your knees come in, your hands come up. As they drop down, you're going to open your arms out to the side. Pull it back to center. So if you're feeling any sort of lower back pain here, you can add a little mini tuck of the pelvis. And let's go here, open it up, squeezing the arms in. If you can feel that bicep, pec muscle starting to engage here. Feel some blood flowing to your face and all throughout your body. 1 more. Hold the knees in here, take your hands out to the side, pressing your hands down. We're going to rotate your knees over to the right, so you're just adding a little twist in the lower half of your body, pulling the knees back to center. Let's go over to the left and back to center. So you want to keep your shoulders planted down onto the floor. You're just trying to rotate through the spine, kind of the lower half of your body is rotating. We're going to stay over to the right. So find a position here where you feel your left oblique hanging on there. Take your left hand up to the ceiling. You're going to drop it down by your side. You're going to take it over your head as you dip the legs down very slightly and pull it back in. So you'll start to feel side leg. You'll feel a lot of inner thigh here. You'll feel this whole kind of corset muscle here pulling in and tight, reaching it out. If it's too much to add the arm, you can just drop the arm down and back into a T. 2 more. Keep breathing through this. 1 more. And then take that arm out into the T. Pull your knees back to center. Find your center again. Stretch out through your arms. Let's go over to the left. Keeping the abdominals in here. Taking that right arm up. You're going to dip the knees down as your hand goes up and over your head. This side feels a lot more challenging for me today. Reach it out. Pull the abdominals in. Oh, nice. And so your right hip is slightly lifted. Your left hip is down on the ground. Try to feel what's happening in your legs also. So it's a lot of core, a lot of arm, a lot of legs. You will feel your hip flexors here, but we're going to stretch them out. We're going to try not to overly aggravate them, but they still do need to be worked a little bit. Take that arm out into a T. Pull your knees back to center. Give your knees a hug here. Rock side to side. Let's do some rolling like a ball. So take your feet together. Grab on underneath your knees. We're going to start to kind of rock up here. We're going to stay lifted up. Pull the abdominals in here and hold. If you're pregnant, diastasis, don't do these. Just start to test your balance here. Drop it down. If not, we're going to go into rolling like a ball. Roll through your spine. And then let's lift it up here and hold. So you're articulating through, pulling the core in, lifting up and holding, rolling it back. Let's lift it up here and hold. Let's do 3 more. 2 more. And lift. Keep breathing through this last one. So abdominals stay in. Let's lift it up. Drop your feet down and then slowly roll all the way down. All right. Let's take your hands into a goalpost position. Start to walk your feet in tight into your body. You're going to squeeze the ball. Arms are in a goalpost. You're going to slowly start to tuck and lift all the way up. So let's lift your hips up high, stretching out through the top of your neck, squeezing the ball, and then scoop and roll all the way down. So this would be a good way to stretch out of your hip flexor. Start to turn on behind your legs a little bit more. So you're tucking here, lifting up, keeping your chest nice and open, and then scoop and roll down. So you're trying to keep a straight line from your shoulders to your knees. So we're trying not to puff out your chest too much. So you're really like keeping the abdominals in, but if you can see I'm not going here, I'm still keeping my abdominals in, so I'm driving it from here. And then scoop and roll all the way down. And let's lift up again. Scoop and lift up, opening up the chest, stretching out of the top of your neck. And then roll it down. And let's do 2 more here. Let's lift it all the way up. Lifting up out of the chest. Scoop and roll it down. And 1 more. Let's lift it all the way up. You're going to stay lifted through here. Start to squeeze your elbows in above your head. Open the arms out wide. Squeeze it through here. Check in with your feet. Make sure your weight is on your heels. Also equally on your big toes as they are on your little toes. Ooh, inner thighs. Squeeze through here. Open it up. Let's do 2 more. And open, last one. And open. Slowly start to roll the spine down. You're going to reach your hands all the way up over your head. Walk your feet a little bit further away from your body. We're going to pull the chin in. Start to lift all the way up through here. And then we're going to go down onto your elbows. So you're going to take your elbows back behind you. You're going to lift up off the shoulder. It's really important to find yourself lifting up here. So you're pulling the core in. I want you to take your knees up through here. So you're lifting up, keeping the abdominals in. You're gonna hover over to the left. So you're gonna kind of twist your lower half to the left. Pull the abdominals back to center. Let's go over to the right and back to center. So what's gonna be kind of nice about this is you'll find that it gets a little bit of a glute stretch, kind of right in your piriformis, which is like a very tight muscle in your glute that sometimes causes sciatic pain if you aggravate it too much. So we're still working a lot of core, staying lifted up off the chest. And then we're gonna stay over to the left. From here, I want you to extend your legs out halfway, start to draw the knees in. So we're going out halfway, squeezing the ball, draw the knees in. So they're not going all the way out straight, it's just tiny. And you're thinking your right oblique is really hanging on here. Stretching it out, pulling it in. Let's do 3 more. And 2 more. And 1 more. Pull it back to center. Let's go over to the right. Stay lifted up through here. You're pressing your legs out halfway, pulling your knees in. So naturally, as your legs go out, you're going to feel like an extra little squeeze on the ball. So you're just like squeezing slightly. Pull it in. Pressing it out. Whew, nice. And let's do 3 more. And 2 more. And last one. Back to center. Let's drop your feet down. Start to press yourself up onto your arms here. You can take the ball out. Let's do a butterfly stretch, stretching through the top of your head. Drop the head down. And then let's roll up through here. Let's do a bunch of full body, glute, side leg, all the goodies. Let's go over onto your right elbow here. I want you to go over onto your right knee. So we're gonna go in this position first. Okay, so we've visited this position before. Lift up off the shoulder. The ball is underneath your left arm, but only there just to give your arm a little bit of support. You're not gonna put too much weight there. Keep your knees in line with your hips. So this is internal. We're gonna hold it about here. Start to open that knee up to the ceiling and drop it down. So if at any point you find that this is just too much on this right shoulder, you can drop your hip down. You can continue to do this move. Also, if you have any sort of neck pain, you can turn down, facing down to the floor. Good. Open it up there. So I want you to think of what's actually opening that knee up. And it comes from your hip and your abdominals. It's not just your knee rotating up. And let's do 2 more. And 1 more. And now you're going to hover that leg up here. We're going to tap. You're going to go knee and toe. You're going to go knee and toe. So just tiny dips through here, keeping your abdominals in, checking in with that shoulder. Also another thing, if you don't want to drop down to your hip and you want to continue to keep your hip lifted, you can shift your weight slightly over to the ball as long as your shoulder doesn't collapse. So you can kind of ease up a little pressure on that right shoulder here. 1 more. Good. I said 1 more, but I mean 1 more. And then hold your knees together through here. Start to extend that left leg all the way out. I want you to reach this left arm up to the ceiling. You're going to drop that left foot down, take your left arm up and over your head. You're going to do a little mini tap. Go up and over. You can also do this with your hip down. Tap. Stretch it out. Keep your abdominals up and in and lengthened here. Try to keep your knee in line with your shoulder, in line with your hip. 2 more. And lift. And 1 more. And lift. Nice. Dropping down to your hips. Okay, we're going to stay on this right shoulder, but what's going to happen is you're going to go on top of your right knee. So we're going to kind of find this position here. So now it's not too much pressure onto that right shoulder. It's a lot of abdominals lifting up off your knee. We're going to start to take this left leg up. I want you to start by rotating your whole body over to the left. So you're going to stay lifted through here. You're going to tap your ankle. So you're going to go tap your ankle here, extend it out. So you're tapping, extending it out. So even though your chest is opened up to the left, you can drop your head down. If you find that it just doesn't aggravate as much, you're keeping that left hip nice and open. And stretch. Tap it down. And stretch. Try to relax that right toe. Stretch. Let's do 2 more. Extend. 1 more. Extend it out. You're going to bend the knee. You're going to twist over to the knee. Stretch that leg out as you rotate your upper body down to the floor. So I'm stretching even longer. Bend the knee in here. And thinking length, length, length. Stretch out of the core. Check in with that right shoulder. Make sure it's staying lifted. Also check in with your left tricep. Make sure that the work is happening behind your shoulder and not in the front of your shoulder. Stretch it out. Let's do 2 more. And out. 1 more. And out. And you're going to hold here. You're going to tap your legs. So now your upper body is down to the floor and you're going to go up. So you're going to go tap slightly over to the left and up. Very tiny taps here. Your chest is nice and long. Keeping the core in. Let's do 2 more. And 1 more. Drop your knee down. You're going to go into a child's pose here, but take the ball over to your right arm, because that was the supporting arm, so you want to stretch out through there. Stretch it all the way out. Take your left hand underneath, get a nice twist over to the right. And then we're going to lift up. We're going to switch right over to the other side. Go onto your left elbow. We're going to start in this position. So check in before we even get into this position. Think left elbow, shoulder, whole body. Try to get it as much into one straight line. You're lifting up through here. You're staying lifted up off this left shoulder. You're going to hover that knee up first. Start to open this knee up and then drop it down. So you're keeping your core in. You're trying to find a nice balance between working your shoulder blade, your lats here, your abdominals to stay lifted, your glutes. So there's no part of your body that should be working excessively to hold you in this position. It's all kind of working together. It's also easier said than done. So just try your best here. Really pull the core in. There's no need to power through if you're feeling any shoulder pain. Absolutely drop down to your hip. It's a very challenging move with or without the lift, so you don't need to overdo it. Let's do 1 more. And now you're going to hover it up here with your foot. You're going to internally rotate, tap your knees, then tap your toes here. So you're going tap and tap, tap. So you're keeping the core in, shoulders stay back, and tap. Nice little tap and tap. Shoulders are back. Pull the core in. Now you can see why I'm always saying the supporting leg is doing a lot of work, because you can probably feel it in that left glute also. 1 more. And then back to center. You're going to extend this leg all the way out. Take your right arm up to the ceiling. You drop that toe down, take your hand up and over here. We're going to lift and tap. So you're going to find one nice long line, keeping the abdominals in. Keep breathing here. And out. Try to relax that left foot. And let's do 3 and 2. Find a nice long line from that right arm also, so you're trying to reach your furthest point. 1 more. And then dropping it down. Beautiful. We're going to face down to the floor. Still on that left shoulder, taking the ball behind your left hand here. We're going to extend it out through here. So extend your right leg out. Check in with your body. Starting by rotating up to the ceiling. You're going to put ease up on the pressure on the ball. You're going to tap your ankles together here and then out. So let's just go ahead and drop the head down here so we don't aggravate your neck, since we've been in this position for so long. Stretch it out. So you're keeping your knee open. Stretch it out through here. And let's do 2 more. Try to hang on to this. Keep pulling your shoulders back. Abdominals in. It's very challenging. Reach it out. Start to bend the knee and you're twisting over towards your knee. And then you're stretching it out, elongating your body down to the floor. So it's almost 2 different directions here. You're stretching out through the leg, twisting down to the floor. So same thing with the moving planks that we did in the beginning. I want you to think energy, energy, stretch, stretch, stretch. There's no end point here. You're going long, long, lengthen. 2 more. All the way out. 1 more. All the way out here and hold. You're going to stay twisted down to the floor. You're going to go tap and up, back to center. You're tapping your right foot slightly over to the right. Back up through the center. Tap and lift. 2 more. Keep your shoulders back. Keep your core lifted. Woo. Last one. The shakes are real. Oh my gosh. Drop it down. Wow. Okay. Take the ball underneath your left hand. Roll it all the way out, stretching out through your spine. Take your right hand underneath. Get a nice twist. Take a deep breath. Try not to cuss me out over how deep that glute burn is there. We're going to work through that. Flip your legs around. We're going to lay all the way down. We're going to take the ball like a nice pillow underneath your neck. It's like a nice reward for all of that full body lifted work. Take your arms out to the side. Press your hands down. We're going to take your right leg up. Take your left leg up. We're going to hold this position here. You're going to try to get into your neutral pelvis. You can probably feel your glutes still working here. Start to open up your knees. Squeeze your knees together. So now as we do this movement, soften your toes. Check in with your low abdominals. Check back in with your inner thighs. Give your shoulders a little bit of a break. Give your neck a little bit of a break. If you find that your ball is just slightly too big, you can deflate it a little bit or you can switch to a pillow here if you're feeling like your neck is just too far up. 1 more. Open it up here. You're going to dip it down, lift it back up. So you're dipping it down, lifting it up, trying to keep a neutral pelvis. I'm trying not to go down too far so that my spine doesn't start to arch. Still staying connected here. And let's do 3 more. And 2 more. And 1 more. And then you're going to drop your right foot down. Drop your left foot down. Find this length back in your spine here. Start to hover your right leg up. And what you're going to do is you're going to squeeze your knees together here and then open it out to the side. So you're kind of squeezing in a little bit of a different way. I want you to feel your right oblique connecting. If you can see, my feet are still kind of in the same line, but they're just kind of squeezing into parallel, opening it up. 1 more. And then squeeze it here and hold. You're going to extend that right leg up. I want you to drop it down to the floor. Start to bend the knee and lifting it up to the ceiling. So we're doing a full range of motion here. It's very easy in these moves to kind of be like, okay, I'm taking it slow. I want to speed it up so I can add a little bit more of that heat. What I would rather you do here is really tap deep into your body. Slow it down so that every muscle is connecting together to perform this move. And then you start to realize like, oh, my glute and my hamstring are helping. A lot of abdominal work. My arms are helping by pressing down onto the ground. 1 more. Drop it down. Let's reverse. Let's take that leg up, bend the knee in, stretching it all the way out, elongating out through your body. Stretch it out. Let's do 3 more. Keep breathing here. 1 more. If you're having any low back pain, remind yourself to add a little tuck. Take a little slightly external rotation so your heel rotates inwards. We're going to do a tiny circle over to the right. Lift it up through the center. Tiny circle here. Really allowing your hip to open up. Connecting again, inner thigh to the pelvic floor, to the low abdominals, to your full body, stretching in and up. 2 more. 1 more. And let's reverse the other way. Drop it down and around. Keep reaching out through your arms. Check in with that neck. Make sure it's relaxing all the way down. Let's do 2 more. And 1 more. Drop that foot down. We're going to open up your knees here. Find your neutral pelvis again. Start to hover that left leg up. You're going to squeeze your knees together. Open it out. So this is really where the cue of being in something denser in space will really make a huge difference. So you're feeling like, let's say I'm in the room with you, pressing this knee, and you're trying to pull it in as I'm trying to press it the opposite way. So it creates some of that inner resistance within your body, creates a little bit more support around your joints, around your bones. So we're working like those deep, deep muscles. And then open it out through here, pull it back in, start to stretch that left leg up, drop it down, bending the knee in and lift. So we're thinking deeper than just the superficial muscles on top. We don't want to build strength just from the top. We want to start it deep inside, work our way out, stretch it out, reach it out. And one more. And then reverse, bend it in, stretch it out, elongate out through the spine. Check in also with that right side of your body, make sure that your hips are staying even. Your right side of your body is still doing some work, even though it looks like just the left side is moving. One more. Reach it out. And now we're going to externally rotate, so heel goes in. The rotation really comes from the hip. We're doing a circle out to the left. Lift it up. Lift. Nice circle through here. 2 more. Check in with your neck, check in with your spine. Last one. And let's reverse, let's go the opposite. Circle it around. A lot of core, a lot of inner thigh. 2 more. And 1 more. Drop that foot down. Let's take the ball out from behind your head. Let's pull it in towards your chest. Squeeze your knees together here. Grab on underneath your knees. Let's start to do a little mini rock. And then let's lift all the way up. You're going to hold this position. Start to stretch your arms out. We're just going to drop them down to the floor. Lift up out of the chest as they drop. Start to reach your hands up. So you're dropping and lift. Keeping the core engaged and lift. Let's do 3 more. Inner thighs. 2 more. And 1 more. And then open up your knees. Nice. Oh my gosh. Take a nice butterfly stretch here. Drop the head down. And then let's lift up. We're going to take the ball between your knees. Give it a squeeze here. I bet everybody's going to be totally done with the ball being between the knees after this with so much inner thigh work. I want you to focus on the lift through the core, reaching your hands out in front of you, stretching your arms back. You're going to round forward as you pull your weight over your heels. Start to lift up through here, open up the chest. Round forward, stretching through your arms. Let's lift it up. Let's do 2 more. And lift. 1 more. And lift. And then we're going to stretch your arms out long. Start to tuck your toes underneath, stretching out of your body. We're going to press it out into a full plank. Elbows are rotated forward, abdominals stay in. Bend your knees, pressing through your arms. Stretch it out, open up through the chest. Bend it in. Stretch it out. Bend it in through here, really lengthening out of your spine. Stay lifted up out of your shoulders. Let's do 1 more. All the way out. Let's go into a pike. You're going to lift it up, press your chest back, roll through the spine. Hold your plank. Let's lift it up, stretching through the spine. Roll through here. Plank. 2 more. Up. Roll it through. And last one. All the way up. You can drop your heels down. Let's lift your heels up. Drop your heels down. Lift it up. Still pulling in the core. And lift. 1 more. Lift. Let's roll it out back into your plank. Drop your knees down. Sit back into a child's pose. And then I'm going to flip over onto my back. I'm going to do 1 little nice twisty stretch and we'll be all done. So let's lay all the way down. Take your arms out to the side. You can take the ball directly between your knees here. Pressing out through your arms, you're going to take your knees over to the right. So you're going to stretch out. Pulling your knees back to center. Let's go over to the left. Back to center. One more to the right. Keep breathing through this. We're going to go over to the left. You're going to drop your knees all the way down to the floor, and then you're going to let your right arm kind of drag up and over. So you're pulling your core in here. You're going to reach that right arm all the way up over your head. You're going to twist all the way over to the right, drop that right arm down, and then start to pull your knees back in. So we're going to go over to the right. So you're going to go here, you're going to go drag that left arm up and over. Circle it over your head, go back over to the left, and then pull your knees back to center. Let's do it one more time each side. Start to drag here. You can make it a little bit more fluid. Other side, drag up and over. Circle it down. Back to center. Let's ditch the ball off to the side. Stretch your legs all the way out straight. Take your right knee into your chest. Cross your right foot over to your left side. Pull it in towards your body. Get that nice piriformis stretch, and then cross your left hand over your right leg, and we're going to twist over to the left as you look over to the right. Let's come back to center. Let's take your left knee into your chest. Take your left foot, cross your right side. And then let's twist this way. Nice rotation. Let's go back to center. Let's lift up through here. Let's take your feet directly underneath your hips here. Grab onto your elbows, let your head drop all the way down. Start to nod your head. Shake your head no. Start to reach your hands down to the floor. You're going to slowly start to articulate the spine up one vertebrae at a time. You're going to roll your shoulders back a couple of times. We are all done. I want you to end with your legs up on a wall. Release some of that circulation just for a few minutes just to get you back and ready to go for the day. Thank you all. This was so great. I love you. Thank you so much. It feels so good to move. I hope you all feel great. I'm doing another 30-minute, which is going to be a completely different format in about 15 minutes here if anybody wants to join. This one will be a little bit more scoliosis friendly, pregnancy friendly, diastasis friendly, because I won't be doing any of the roll-ups because I'm doing this with Martha, and she had a spinal surgery, so she has a rod in her back. So rotation and curl up flexion is a little bit more challenging. So if anybody has any of those questions that have been asking me some of those, that would be a really great chance to come and kind of check it out and see like what modifications will be helpful. And that starts at, what time is it now? 11:15. So I'll see you all soon. If not, I'll see you back tomorrow. Bye. Thank you.